Treat. Okie dokie. Five, four, three, two, one. Sherry and Sarah, welcome to the Make Life Rich Movement podcast. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having us, Sarah.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We have a very exciting conversation happening today, and I would love to just give a little bit of background on these two ladies and why I'm so excited to be speaking with them. So, Sherry West, we've had on the show before a few months back. She is the brand marketing manager for Black Radiance Beauty, and she's always continuing to amplify Black voices. And this time, they are expanding their reach and representation with AR and beauty tech. And that is where Sarah comes in. Sarah Dossey is a project manager at Sarah, and she focused on the user experience design, which is basically the bread and butter of any digital or app experience that you go through. And together, they focused on creating avatars that are more realistic looking and provide a lot more personality for Black women in tech, and especially beauty tech. So, ladies, thank you so much for coming on to talk about this. I am so excited for this to not only be a conversation we're having in real time right now, but you are among the first, if not the first, correct, to have put this focus on providing Black women with the amplification of an avatar that looks like them, and not just one, but four.
That is correct. We wanted to do some things as if you recall, we celebrated 30 years of Black Radiance, a heritage beauty brand that has been around for generations now. And as we were looking into what were the next steps for Black Radiance, for our target customer, what our consumers were looking for. And we wanted to develop something to celebrate the brand and to engage with our consumers on a different level. And so as we were coming up with either campaigns and strategizing, we were like, how do we take Black Radiance and our consumer to the future, right? Because we have this really wonderful and rich past. And then now we want to say, okay, where are we going? How do we keep up with this younger generation and all of the technology and social media influence that we have now? And so we decided to come up with an avatar. And because there really wasn't a predecessor in this area for where we were going, we were sort of going in blind. We just had a desire. And with any innovation, you don't know what's going to happen. We hit some walls. We're like, you can do this, you can't do that, or that technology doesn't exist yet. So we were learning along the way we just wanted to see what can we do, right? And so we really came up with a really wonderful way to represent our customers in a way that we see them growing, where they've come from and where they're going. And so I'm not sure, Sarah, if you remember, we were talking about both Sarah 1 and Sarah 2, two Sarahs today. But we were looking at, in 30 years, what did our customer look like 30 years ago, and what does she look like now, and what is she going to look like in the future? And we started looking at their careers. Careers are very different now than they were 30 years ago, and we started looking at people like Jessica Watkins, who was going to the moon. She's this astronaut, she's this explorer, and she's like from the moon to the depths of the ocean. It was just like mind blowing. And we're looking at Star Andrews, this really young girl who was just breaking records on as a figure skater. And we're like, look at these careers, opera singers, and people were doing so many things. And even influencers and content creators alone, they are doing so much that we figured we better take a big leap to get in front of her or to help her along the way. And so we took these personas and we came up with careers and looks, like what does she dress like, what does she look like, how does she wear her hair, what's her makeup going to look like day to night, what's her backstory. So we had to take in all of these things. So it was character building, storytelling, in addition to all the technology that now has to support the brainstorming that went to developing this. And it took longer than having a child, actually. I think we were working on it in about 10 months. So we really did give birth, conceived it, nurtured it, let it incubate, marinate, all those things. And then we, had to finally go, are we ready to deliver? And Sarah can attest to, like, every week we had our sort of doctor's appointments. Where are we? How's she feeling? Kind of things, and changing things, and adding more depth, bringing in specialists to help along the way. And so it was a real, I mean, it was a journey. It really was. And when we launched it, I did say, we could have had a child in this amount of time. And we did. We had 4 children. They were called the Innovator, who is sort of based on Jessica Watkins, who's the Explorer. And then we have content creators because, we use and partner with so many content creators and influencers that of course she has to be there, and she influences all the generations that Black Radiance has come to love and focus on, like, what are we doing for her at different stages of her life. And then we have the athlete, because if you look at any news program, any content on social media, you are seeing athletes on the field. Simone Biles is crushing it. The Olympics are happening right now. So, okay, my eyeglasses are slipping a little bit. And then, let's see, who am I forgetting? We have, oh, of course, we have the Boss Babe, who is running the show, coming up with businesses. She's an entrepreneur. So we dressed her, we did her hair, we did everything, and we gave her personality and each of these personas. And then we had to figure out what is this launch going to look like. And now that it has launched, each one of them have become like a digital BFF. You can take her wherever you are. And if you go on like our Instagram, you can see what she's doing and how people are posting and taking their digital BFF or their persona with them. And it's really a great way to engage, bring about awareness of Black women in tech, Black women in beauty. And it was new for us. Like, we are the first beauty brand to develop a beauty app specifically for women of color. It's not just African Americans, it's women of color, but it could be for anybody because, but for right now, we have those 4 personas, and they really speak to a myriad of characteristics, personas, who you can identify with to the best of our ability. That's what we did. And we really had a lot of fun doing it. We can't say that there weren't challenges along the way, but guess what? Sometimes when you're the first to do something, you just don't know how it's going to turn out. So we're just really excited that it's launched. And oh boy, we were exhausted after the actual launch party, but it's just been amazing.
I can't help but like choke up a little because I remember you, even just the little tidbit you were able to give me in our last conversation. It was something that was, oh, it might get me right now, so deeply important to you to achieve. And, people may hear a beauty company and think that it's a very one-sided, vain, point of focus for what you're doing and what your mission is. And I loved in our first conversation the 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 reason why Black Radiance was so important to you is because you were able to help every woman define what beauty meant for her, especially in, a continuing society and system where most people that don't look like me are not represented and on a wide scale, enough to where something like an avatar has been taken for granted by those that have had access to them for
Right.
20, maybe almost 30 years now at this point. I remember them from middle school days starting.
Mhm.
And it's wild to me it's taken that long. And it's wild to me this wasn't something that was explored and visited by maybe a school system or
Mhm.
something where it could make such a large impact. So I want to thank you for bringing this baby to life, as you said, because this was for you something that was very important to get out there. And I want everyone to hear that because, again, Black Radiance is a 30-year-old makeup company, but
Mhm.
they go far beyond makeup. And it is absolutely about the representation, comfort, and portrayal of what is beauty that is everywhere, that is for everyone, that is for every skin color, for
Mhm.
any shade of whatever color you want to utilize with your makeup. And there's just so much that it goes above and beyond with. And it
Mhm.
starts with this avatar and it starts with catching up and providing the thing that has been missing for so long that should be absolutely not only here, but been here for quite some time. So I love
Mhm.
that the focus also in creating these avatars was remembering where you were when the company started and the advancements that have come since. And I would love, Sarah, for you to talk a little bit about clearly you're not a black woman. So what was this process like for you in managing the expectations of what would be delivered aesthetically within the design renderings of these avatars? Because I know that was one of the things that was most important to Sherry and Black Radiance was the realistic and uniqueness that is the varying beauties of a black woman. So how on earth did you get that for the first time and the first focus? Oh, Sherry,
Sarah, I
please.
want to I want to interrupt and to your point, just thank Sarah and the team at Saritasa because we were turned down by another group and I had to search and I found Saritasa. So I think that might be a good place to to bring that in because when you have a vision, people seem like they can help you, but no, not necessarily. And Saritasa was the group that stood up and said, "I think we get it. We get what you're looking for," and that's why things have been pushed back. So kudos to Saritasa, and then that's how Sarah Dossey got bought in because we got turned down. We really did. We were like just devastated, and I had to go on a new search to find the Saritasa who understood our vision.
So sorry about that, losers.
They're
You know who
lost.
you are, losers.
Yes.
Yeah, well, working with Sherry and the team was an absolute joy. I think we spent a lot of time in the beginning on these ideations for the characters. And even through that, there were probably 20 examples of women of color who fit each of these archetypes we were looking towards. It was hard to even pick a few to use as inspiration. But I think this is very special because a lot of these trends we see, I think, in makeup and self expression are like features and styles that came originally from Black women or women of color, and they're popularized now. So to be able to have an app and a visualization of these trends or like long-standing trends, just like makeup habits and styles,
Mhm.
was great. Something we really wanted to focus on was creating avatars that really looked like women of color and Black women. So they had hairstyles that matched what you would see women actually wearing, facial features, a variety of skin tones. So I think a lot of times in tech, we're just tweaking things to people who haven't been represented a lot. And it's an experience that was built for, maybe white people, and we've just tailored it to someone. So to have this built specifically for women of color, I think was a great intentional process that we went on. Especially a lot of the avatar designing, we said, we want them to look like real women. And follow what Sherry and the whole team was able to help us with, which was great. So being able to put the makeup hues they've designed to be on darker skin tones actually on a digital avatar who you can tell this tone matches what it would look like on someone in real life was a big part of it. We did a lot of time doing makeup maps and putting the makeup on the avatars, testing it out, going back and tweaking, making sure the products matched in real time. So it was definitely a labor of love, but Sherry and their team know their products. The way we did the makeup mapping was kind of a digital version of what I imagine a makeup artist would do. And they could just call out shades, products, what they thought would go together. And a lot of times we would just do it live there, open in Figma. So we did kind of just our own makeup mapping, kind of jerry rigging this design software to do it in real time. And then we'd hand that off to our 3D team who could build things out.
Very cool. I again, I told Sarah before we started, I'm 39. I'm like, oh, I'm with the tech, but I can barely make an aesthetic email. Okay, so I'm always like a little flustered when it comes to like, oh man, like how did they do? Like, how did they make this? I just don't understand. But in the creation of the app, this is where these four avatars live, and you're able to either immerse them in their own scene, or you can immerse them where you are via the camera. So could you both kind of talk about what were the features that you wanted to make sure were part of the app so that you could both showcase the makeup as well as give these avatars, the Black Radiance BFFs, like a place to exist with the user in a way that hasn't really been able to be done before, especially for this particular audience?
Do you want me to take it or you want to take it, Sarah?
I can go from the tech side a little, and then
Okay.
you can probably do what your intention was looking for an AR application.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for us, at least, we just wanted to make sure there was an interaction happening with the user. So whether that be using their back camera to place the avatar in their space, not only is the user going to say, I relate to this woman, I see myself in her, she can be in your room, she can be in your office, anywhere you are. So we wanted to make sure for the AR component, so the augmented reality, we were able to let the user scan their space, place her, size her to be larger or smaller, and then make sure we could have that aspect of occlusion in there so I can stand maybe with my arm behind her. It really feels like she's existing in the same space as me. And then for the front camera experience, we wanted to make sure that they could take a selfie with the avatar. So like Sherry put, they're kind of my BFF, they're my friend. I can take a selfie just like I would with a traditional friend. So we did a lot of iterations of the selfie. We wanted to make sure that, you're getting them at the right pose. And we kind of landed on more of a frame-like experience for the selfie, but we wanted to make sure regardless of the camera you're using, you can be interacting with the characters.
So cute.
And so from our perspective, what we learned from Sarah that we could do a quiz so that people can answer questions about themselves, whether they were introvert or extrovert, what's their idea of a great evening, and based on some of these answers, you would identify with a certain persona, boss babe, innovator, the athlete, or the content creator. So that was great that you could go, oh, I'm fitting into this sort of, I resonate with this persona. Or you can go, I like the way this avatar looks, I'm just going to pick her and then start playing with her or putting her in my space, or I'm with a group of friends and go, hey guys, I want to take a picture with you with the avatar. Or a lot of the posts that we've been doing lately is, where is our avatar right now, right? So she's been at wineries, she's been to openings, she's been to Walmart or Target. We are putting her in the space where she can be. And then you see her like live. I've taken her to the beach. I've done like some really fun, exciting posts. And it's just exciting just to engage with her, and to see, like, it's taking in your environment and your atmosphere, and you have like a record, and then your avatar is there, and then you can turn the camera on yourself and put yourself in there with the avatar. So the features that Saritasa and the team came up with, we were just learning along the way. Hey, guess what? We think we can add this feature. Do you like this? And along the way, that's how the app really started taking form. After we developed the characters, we could now see, okay, so here's some technology that we think we can add to your vision. And that's how we ended up with the product that we have today. It was, not to say trial and error, but I think the engineers on the back end that are clearly across the other end of the globe somewhere, tinkering with, our idea and coming up with what we have today. So they really immerse themselves in our thought process and our mission statement. And we really came out with a wonderful product that people are really engaging with. And our retailers are like, hey, can you use that for this, this, and this? So we're like, oh, yeah, this is just phase one. We only gave birth to the baby right now, and we got to see how she's growing up, right? But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, already she's going to the retailers, she's standing in front of the product, and we're posting and things like that. So there's just so much. I mean, we don't even have any idea. We're actually going to have a contest in a few weeks to let the world tell us what you're doing with your avatar, and see what the other ideas are. So the consumer gets to play as well and engage in the process.
It is really cool that the infancy of this app is really going to give you the ability to truly see what people are enjoying about it and amplify that, or have the ability to pivot and add more things. I In playing with the app and preparing for a convo, I really just love the fact that I could it was so reminiscent of being like a little girl in those doll heads that would come with like a makeup kit and you could just like go to town on it. That was like the first like playscape that you had to like not have to wash your face 50,000 times and
Yeah.
everything. So it was reminiscent of that and just being like, oh my gosh, like in preparing for what I was going to put on my face today, like I did literally like map out my look like before
Okay.
putting it on. So I thought that was fun too. Like I could see myself, especially if I still lived in Philly, I'm waiting for the train. Like, yeah, let me like pick my look for the night. Like, what's my face gonna look like later? So it is really fun. Just, it can be used for so many different things, but I do at the core love that you can integrate your avatar into what you're doing. It is so fun. It is great for socials. And on the business side of things, man, you're really just not only giving people a reason to post, you're also giving them a reason to showcase the product, which I'm sure not was not the goal, but it's just such a well-rounded project that seems to be really serving in all directions, which
Hmm.
seems like a unicorn of a thing to happen. And I love so much that it's happening for Black Radiance and is only just the very beginning, like first steps. We're seeing the baby's first steps right now, and she'll be walking and talking soon. But what are some things you were really happy to hear from the users in the first few, weeks of it being released? Because this is still such a brand new app that you are able to get now on Google and Apple, whatever, Apple Store.
I think the thing that probably resonates with me the most is the squeal. Like, oh my gosh, like people go, oh wow, like I can do this, and I'm in the picture with the avatar, and then seeing how people are playing with it. I think that's exactly what we wanted. We really wanted it to be about engaging with the avatar, which is Black Radiance and the product itself. So if you can get the consumer to engage and to have fun, we're not pressing sales. This is not what this is about. It's about engagement. And given, because people are gamers, they're on their apps doing fun things, and they're into selfies. So this is a way to bring that technology and people's desire to post and to do creative things on their Instagrams. And so now you'll start seeing the different avatars populate within people's posts, and
Mhm.
that's fun. I think that's exactly what we wanted. We weren't pressing sales. Yeah, the avatars are wearing Black Radiance products, but the sales will come, down the road. That is down the funnel somewhere, because because you can also go into the app and see what the avatar is wearing. So you can change the makeup 4 different ways for each avatar. So there's lip products, there's blushes and eye products that you can just go into the app and it'll populate, and you can learn right away what is the avatar wearing. So,
Mhm.
so there's a lot that goes into this app. But the main thing is like, how can you engage? How can you have your digital BFF with you no matter what? Like, if you had Wi-Fi on the moon, you could take your digital BFF to the moon. You
I
know,
love that.
wherever you have Wi-Fi, you can take your BFF. Yeah.
I love
So,
that.
and I look forward to actually developing more characters or personas, because now we're starting to see who's starting to engage with her. So, yeah, one step at a time.
Oh, it's so fun. It really is like a almost an instant like get ready with me best friend, because you're already probably looking in a camera unless you are lucky to have a mirror in front of you while you're getting ready, but it really does give you just a tiny bit of excitement to where you didn't really expect to. I mean, I can't think of an app similar. I really don't know one where I could choose any makeup at all, let alone like create an avatar that I can move onto different places and utilize in social across the board. So it really is very unique, and I'm quite amazed it took until 2024 for something like this to exist, let alone for it to exist for Black women. I wonder if when you were going through the very early stages of, okay, we recognize clearly this is a severely underserved space in not only the beauty industry, but in the tech market in general. Where do we want to lay the ground for our first like steps of impact in terms of making sure that not only do the characters represent who our current customers may grow into, because again, you're targeting a younger audience who probably isn't steeped too heavily in their career path yet. And then how do you leave room for there to be more space to be held for people that maybe in the meantime are just really unsure of the path that they want to take? It's almost like you created like a mentor of sorts within this app that does kind of give a young girl the ability to dream a little bit within this avatar that they didn't think they would have access to until now.
Well, I think coming up with the different personas helps, because, like, if you say if you have the CEO or the entrepreneur, if you're searching for your career, do you want to be, do you want to own your own business? Do you want to run a company? Do you want to be in charge? So that's the boss babe. If you're exploring, maybe if you're into sciences, STEM, technology, coding, and all that, you're going to probably fall into the innovator side of life. If you're an athlete, well, we just know you're the champ. That's just how it is. Like, even if it's fitness, yoga, or whatever, all that mindset goes into the champ. And then if you're just like young and figuring it out, don't have a job yet, you're probably a content creator. You're on TikTok, you're on Instagram. That's who she is. She's creating her own story, which is great, because now you get to amplify your stories through the app. It becomes through the app. It becomes a new way to tell a story. I'm loving it too, because just by putting the app at a retailer, I'm telling a different story. Like, oh, hey, where's Boss Babe? Oh, she's getting her contour palette at Walmart or something, that sort of thing. So, yeah, it's just like you can create a story really quick around an avatar. Where was she? She was at the food truck, which she goes to often.
Yeah.
It's like, where are our avatars? They're at the food truck in LA. So yeah, they can be anywhere.
I love that. So there is a lot of room, not only
Hmm.
for growth, but for evolution and for them to really dictate what they
Right.
want with the avatar and the experience.
Right. And gaming. And it's like just even having the avatars in the beauty space. You have some apps that, have try on. So you have quite a few of those. That's been the way innovation has gone for beauty. It's like, oh, well, I can just try on this color, they can take a picture, and I can see what this color looks like on my face. Okay, how many times are we going to see that
Yeah.
type of thing? This way, you get to still engage and have fun and tell stories with your app. And it's like it's a game in a way, because I guess, gamers would probably really appreciate it. And just because you're a gamer doesn't mean you're like in a den just playing games all the time. You have to create your avatar before you start that game, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're picking out who are you going to be today,
Mm-hmm.
before you start playing, and then you start really feeling who you are and getting immersed in that. And then this way, if you're into makeup, it's like, wow, okay, so this is how we're going to play this game. We're gonna we're gonna try on some makeup, or we're gonna go here and there, but it's going with me. We're not stuck in the home or behind a device or computer playing that game. We're out in the world playing this game every day, um, just like our consumers, just like us, every day we're out in the world playing this game of beauty,
Yeah.
playing this game of storytelling, right? So we're just changing the vernacular of how we're telling that story in a technology way, but in a fun way and in a cute, sort of sophisticated way. Like, isn't she cute? Or I like what she's doing. Who thought the Boss Babe could be an app, and she's got on her makeup, and okay, if she's going out to dinner, she's wearing this look, and if she's, going to work every day, she might tone it down a little bit. We really thought about where she's going and what she's doing, and I think Sarah can attest to it. And Sarah did a lot of her homework. We were so impressed. She came back with, yeah, I was on this app, or I was on so and so's Instagram, or I saw this person, and she said, I saw this look, and we're like, wow, good going. you know it
That's
takes it literally took a village, or literally the whole world, to put together this app. And I mean, Sarah, you can testify to, where were our developers in the world, and they're working while we're sleeping, they're working, and vice versa, right? So it took a lot to put into these apps. It's so impressive, that we actually got a finished product because of somebody else's technology. All of this is somebody else's technology before it became our thought. We had to see what's out there, and kind of imagine what are the possibilities for something. We did not have a template. We may have templates for how to build the avatar, but we didn't have a template on how are we going to address beauty and technology as an avatar or an app. I mean, putting together the app has nothing to do with beauty. Absolutely nothing. The challenges of getting set up on Apple, and the legal parts have absolutely nothing to do with what's on my lips or my face or anything, any of that.
yeah.
Not a single stitch. So you have to bring in different mindsets, different players to get this app done. So it was homework, a lot. I mean, Sarah became our teacher. She was like, okay, who's getting this done? And we really need that policy. I got to go track down the legal department and bang on his door and go, dude, I need this. It was, uh, boy, oh boy. I've been the professor, but Sarah became the professor. Like, okay, we can't go any further until we
Until,
get
yeah,
this, right?
I
So,
love that.
yeah, and so everybody's not on the build the app schedule. you
Yeah.
know?
Well,
Yeah, I
until yeah, you don't know until you know, but I keep hearing it's a beast. But I would love to know, Sarah, what research on your end did kind of go into this? I would love to know the nitty-gritty, so feel free to go as deep as you'd like.
Yeah, for me, a lot of it was like soft cost items. So, like Sherry said, doing that research in the beginning, who can we model some of these avatars after? And then a lot of learning internally. So, I think Sherry did a great job of kind of highlighting. I think this project was really just a mutual success. Our development team loved this project as much as I think Sherry liked working on it as well.
Mm.
They were always excited to try something new, play around with these avatars, doing makeup. I think this is a little outside of what we've done previously with 3D models and AR. We've done a lot of more technical aspects, parts for companies that build, unique technologies. So doing something more person-based with a 3D model, I think was, like I said, a mutual success between the two of us. Um, for the 3D development, We did a lot of creating that basic avatar in Ready Player Me, which is kind of a preset 3D model builder. So since we wanted to really use our hours intentionally for this project with sharing the team, we set up those base models and then use the base girls to do this customization. Like she said, we talked about body shape, their facial appearance, the makeup, hairstyles, and clothes. So we would use an internal custom kind of workflow we did with 3ds Max and ZBrush, Substance Painter. So a lot of these 3D model building softwares and then moving them into the animation stage. So we did a lot of back and forth with the development team and Sherry and the team on, we need them to look like they're living. So we need them to take some breaths, to move. We don't want them just standing there. So making that AR aspect also be a very human experience. Like she's there with me. So we did some custom animation scripts on that, and then we'd bring it into the application once that was done. So a lot of our work was done in this 3D space because it was, the biggest part of this app, the biggest aspect. And then making sure these 3D characters can live in the AR space. I think also what you guys were talking about, where we can go with this application, we did all of this user journey for the users. So in the future, if we want to open up customization, we've had the experience of what it takes to build these characters, what I can pick and choose to make them very custom to me. So I think they have a great launching point for however they want to open this up to a very personalized experience.
Wow. It is so cool to hear that those involved on the team were excited to work on a project simply because it was new and different. But I guess that just goes to further exemplify the fact that this should not be a brand new thing in 2024, and it is. Which I wonder, and we're not speaking for them, of course, but while the developers were working on these things, were there any tech limitations, maybe due to coding or something that was created beforehand that was more modeled around a white representation of some type of anatomical avatar or anything that would need to be rendered in a completely different manner because it is not for a white presenting avatar?
Probably the biggest difference is just making sure that we keep in mind the different lighting. When you're creating in a 3D space, you pick where the lighting is coming from. So making sure that the lighting we had on these characters was very complementary to skin tone. So we could still see the makeup, we could still reflect the true and intentional skin tone. Sherry and the team picked a wide variety of tones, a little lighter to kind of deeper tones, so we could make sure we got a wide range of representation. And then just making sure when we actually place them in the 3D space that we're staying pretty true to these tones. I think a lot of times too, it's easy to create based off what you know. So the team was very excited to build characters who maybe didn't look exactly like them, and get some experience with different modeling types. Sherry and the team offered a lot of great reference images. So they even had some images of real consumers who've come to their events, who've been there, and they say, wow, we see a lot of these people with this certain hairstyle or these hair colors. They like these makeups. And so we really tried to use people, I think, from all walks of life. Celebrities, people in academics, regular people who are just coming to these events and are real consumers. So I think just making sure we made the project really represent who it's being built for. So the user in mind at all times and not just what is close and known.
It's so cool that your actual users, Sherry, were able to be a part of the process. And, unbeknownst to them, I'm sure they didn't realize that just being a fan and truly living in the Black Radiance products and kind of being that bedrock of who Black Radiance is at the moment in this 30 years of growth. Was that something that you were kind of secretly taking along the way? Just like, all right, well, we noticed that they're really loving this brand new contour palette. So let's make sure we make a big fuss about contouring on the face and, showing the different ways in which we're going to highlight the forehead and the cheeks and the chin and was there a lot of intention in you wanting to really take what the customers were giving you and make sure you were rolling that into the AR in the way that you have with your beauty lines?
Yeah, yeah, it was, I wouldn't say challenging, but we do take all that to heart, what's going to resonate, right? Because like there's so much content. We hire influencers to, and makeup artists to style our product. And most of the people that we use, they're pretty much on trend. So the trends that you see on social media, in the fashion magazines, beauty magazines, those things come into play when we were applying the various different makeups. Again, we're looking at, okay, her career first and foremost, or what is her lifestyle, right? So we're looking at the lifestyle. And so fashion and beauty go together. We chose their clothing, like what would they look like on an average day, and their hair. Obviously, we're talking about that, and then the makeup is just completing the entire lifestyle look. So, and how it's contoured. Remember, like our last podcast, we talked about contouring and cheekbones and things like that. Well, the avatar is kind of like clay. We were sculpting and molding these personas to what we see every day, and who we're marketing to, and how the consumers really speaking back to us, and how they speak back to us is the sales of those items that we're marketing. So like we talked about the contour palette last time, one of our number one sellers. But we also went through this exercise too. Like some of our number one sellers will not translate to an avatar. Like our loose setting powder won't make a difference whatsoever in a molded avatar, right? So we're like, yeah, it doesn't show up because it's like translucent powder kind of thing. So we had to really think about what's showing up on the avatar, taking, so we had to edit. Sometimes we go, oh, that color on our eyes, or starstruck. Even though the avatar, one of the our newest products, that starstruck, the CEO is wearing that during the day, and that's we talk. Oh, right, you're wearing starstruck, and but so when the user goes into the app and they want to know what is the avatar wearing, it's like she's wearing starstruck, so she's maybe a little bit more toned down. But then in the evening selection, she can pop up into like a tribal bright, or midnight magic, or something like
That
that.
blue,
Yeah.
that blue in the photo, it's so stunning.
Yeah. So you see how I want to say like the calisthenics that we had to go through to deliver all these different looks, and the thought process based on what is actually happening, and what is the future of beauty, and how we're applying our products to deliver the trend look, right? Or that contoured, molded, like it's highlighted in the front, darker under here, so that your cheekbones come forward and that you look nice and bright. So we are literally sculpting and molding each of those characters and applying the makeup. The makeup is helping us to magnify those looks.
Beautiful. It really is. I think the true impact of what you're doing probably won't be felt for another year or two, because it's so new, and it shouldn't be, but it's already taking off like wildfire, and it's only been a few weeks. So I can only I can only imagine where this app is going, and what avatars are to come in the future. And I think I would just like to say thank you both for coming to kind of explain a little bit about what goes into this process. I think people are just so, like, apps are so blasé these days, but unless you've made one, gosh, you don't know what goes into it. And it literally took, as you said, 10 months to bring this to life. And it's already made such a splash in the short amount of time that it's been out. But I would love to hear from each of you, like, what it means to you to be a part of this very special project that is just really only starting to, understand what the effects of it will be. Like, what does it feel like to both have been a part of this and to bring this to life?
Sarah, do you want to go
I
first?
can, yeah, I'll chime in first. I think something that I really enjoyed is just having our partnership with Sherry and Black Radiance and their excitement to join into the tech space. I think part of at Saritasa, what we focus on is really purposeful innovation. So this is a new kind of app that we did. We've been in AR, we haven't done something very makeup based. And so having this be a project that has kind of an end goal that's more impactful than just making an app. I think Sherry and her team really embraced AR as it was. They did a great job of taking all of our advice about, the technical limitations of it. You want to have good lighting when you guys are launching the app. You want unobstructed areas, places where the users will be able to place the avatars well. And I think they really tailored their event experience to rise to trying a new technology. They did a great job taking and creating backgrounds specifically for each avatar. So I could put my champ in like a stadium arena kind of feel. And they really did a great job, I think, of merging AR and tech with this real life experience. So I'm just very blessed to be on a project like this. I think it was a very creative endeavor. They were a great team to work with, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they come up with next and how we can kind of, go hand in hand towards other types of technology that just expand on this application and start bringing in items that grab in more customers and users to join.
Thank you.
Wow. So much to say, and thank you, Sarah. I'm just my mind, like when you start talking about our launch event, just all the technology that went into our launch event, and creating atmospheres within the event space, and using digital technology to project how the avatars are being used. And the future of Black Radiance was just absolutely amazing. We had people flying in to just be a part of it. So that was a testament to what this innovation was about. And I just, again, have to take my hat off to Saritasa and the team, Sarah and the team, because they just brought so much to the project. I mean, down to like the minute matching of the colors. I mean, we sent Sarah actual product. Her team matched hex codes to show up on the avatars like it would show up on a person. I mean, they really went all out. They just took this project to a new level, and you don't realize at the time when you're trying to do something, what's going on. But it showed their dedication to deliver the right project, the right product for us. And not only that, the person who I originally spoke to before Sarah was a woman named Michelle Rice, who really got the concept, and she really started rallying around this project. And even to the end point, as we're developing the avatar, she said, I think I have the person. I want you to meet this person who had worked on Barack Obama's campaign for this national launch. I think you might, and he's into technology. So not only did we hire Sarah Tassa to do all the app product for us, all the engineering, and really bringing this project to life, they brought in the doctor. they said, let me introduce you to this specialist named Ming Chow. And Ming was literally sent from heaven, because he really helped to bring the event and the campaign and the persona. Like, he took everything that everybody wanted. So I think what I'm most proud of in this project, for even for myself, is to say, I need this person, I need this person. This may be the vision, but I cannot do this. We cannot do this without bringing people who have been there, who know what they're doing, that can amplify this vision, that brings so much more to this vision than we could have even imagined. And that goes to Saritasa. They really, I think, by loving the project from the very beginning, then that makes me go in and fight for, I need some more money. No, seriously, when you believe that somebody's bringing something else and that they're taking your dream or your vision and it came to fruition and it came through in a way that we had not thought of a year prior. When I was getting turned down for this project, I had no idea what this was going to look like at the end of the day. And to be proud of the people that you brought all along for this project and this role is like, it's like getting that Oscar award. And like it would not have been possible without this person, and they all brought their A game and their genius to the table. And Sarah Dossey stayed on us. Did not let us waver to the point where we had to get like certain, like the legal part. It's like, well, we can't go further until you get this, and this. It's like, okay, So, and without that, that's dedication. That's not, we're just collecting fees. It's like we have a goal. They had a goal. We had a goal. Everybody had a goal that centered around our vision, and everybody understood the assignment. Yeah. And they believed in the assignment, not just understood the assignment, but they believed in the assignment. And I think that, that's something they can go, I had a part in this. I had a part in this app coming to fruition, and it's just getting started. We have ideas and hopes for it, but we still don't know all that's going to come of this. We know that there's going to be more phases. We know that our retailers are excited about how can they get involved. So yeah, we're just right now we're listening, we're taking in the data, and just seeing, oh, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. So it's a village that's raising these babies right now. So thank you, Sarah, Saritasa, and
Yes.
Sarah and Kelly. I mean, to help us get that message out that we're out there doing something new in the tech space, and we've actually gotten interviews from tech publications too. They've taken an interest because
Good.
you don't hear so much technology in beauty, so it's perked up the ears of some. I think we have a new article out in Blavity, 2190. Hype Bay, and they all have a segment of their publications for tech. And so yeah, we're starting to field some requests, which is very interesting. And so LinkedIn is a great place. People hit me up, and yeah, it's just very exciting that, like, who knew? My job and my vision is to grow and expand Black Radiance as a brand. And so now people see Black Radiance as not just a beauty brand, and it's a beauty brand that is universal. Again, we may have a niche for women of color, but lots of people came to our activation. They're like using our products. It's just it's more pigmented to show up on darker skin tones, but our ingredients are top notch. So
Beautiful makeup.
oh, thank
Beautiful makeup. I love it. Literally obsessed.
yeah.
Beautiful makeup.
Exactly. So we are excited about the future. I mean, I think anybody who plans, it's almost like having a separate business plan too, right? Because this is now a segment of our business. You have your vision, your mission statement of what you want to do, but there are going to be changes and innovations along the way that we're not sure yet, because we're getting feedback, we're getting input, and the excitement is we're still in that honeymoon stage, right? So we're just looking to just take her forward. We wanted her to grow up. This app is going to grow up, and she's already starting to grow. So I don't know. We're just
I
excited
love
just
it.
how one idea turned into this, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Beautiful.
I'm just excited. And I
And
think that's the entrepreneur side of me, because like when you get turned down and you have to keep going, and this is what your platform is about, Sarah, is that just because you got turned down doesn't mean the dream dies, right? You have to go, well, they just weren't meant to work with us. We have
on
to keep
bigger and better.
searching, right? Making calls,
Yes.
getting rejected, or somebody saying, oh, we can do it, and they can't, it's like, yeah.
It's interesting, I think, well, I love, Sarah, that you brought up the launch party. I'd love to talk about the launch party before we go, but I find it a little boring of someone to not want to rise to the challenge of doing something completely different, especially within the tech space.
Mm-hmm.
So for Saritasa to be not only happy to do it, they were excited to do it because it meant that they were going to grow as well. So I think in the grand scheme of things, there's a lot of changing of torches right now. Whether or not people want to hand it over, it's getting taken. And I deeply enjoy that, especially right now, there is so much less apprehension in just trying things that are new or working with people that don't look like you or furthering an agenda for people that aren't you. Like, there's just so much more room for everyone. I think we're moving into an abundance kind of mindset for the world here. And I love so much that as a beauty company first, you are now expanding into beauty tech, but not just a shopping app. It was an app that was meant to allow people to show how they live their life, just like everyone else, and looking sassy while they do it because they're wearing some Black Radiance makeup and looking beautiful and confident and feeling their beauty and in the rhythm of their day. And for you to have taken time to put effort, money, and a company's direction behind harnessing all of that for a woman in one space that's also fun is, I think, just a testament to how progress doesn't need to be some big, heavy, collegiate feeling thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
change is fun, it's
Mm-hmm.
lively, it's beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
it's colorful, and I love so much that you guys have taken the charge in this direction. There's no one better suited to do it, and absolutely, Sherry, with you and Paris at the helm, there's so much growth, not only coming for Black women in general within every single space that they absolutely are taking up, rightfully so, and need to have a freaking avatar that shows them being a badass astronaut. Like, why not?
Right.
It's so strange, and I love that every day more things are being cast into the shadows that never deserved the light in the first place. And I love so much that Black Radiance has taken their rightful spot as the first to do it, because you guys have been the first to do so many things, and it's only right that you continue in that direction. But quickly, let's talk about the launch party, because you did make a very concerted effort at making sure that your digital still had space without it being what we're used to in a launch party, like a little step and repeat, get in, get out. But what were some of the things you were conscious of in the launch party planning to make sure that your BFFs had their rightful place?
Well, that was challenging. that was that was a real challenge because now we were faced with how do we launch an avatar in real time, real space, right? Um, so one of the things that we had to do was find a location. We weren't sure whether we were going to build a location. But this is where Ming really came in, and he said, "Hey, check out this place." And it was a place called Candelabrea in LA, right around the corner from where I usually get my hair done.
Oh.
I passed by it a million times, never knew about it. So we go down there to check it out, and there are these huge screens. I mean, they must have been like 20, 30 foot ceilings.
Wow.
And I don't know how old the building was, but whoever bought the space totally turned it into an event space because it used to be a restaurant. And so I wish we could even just show it, but there's like these three huge, almost movie-sized screens on each side of the room, so a total of six. And then above the stage, there's another big screen in a dome shape of the roof. And when we had gone through the tour, their technology guy was just showing how you could project stuff. But then they showed this mapping of like this mashup of different. I'm like, Ming, I need to do that. I want to do that. So we added that on. But then we're like, this place is so big. So what we did was we created environments for each avatar. Each avatar had literally her own room with a projection in the back. So around the room, so when the guests came in, they came down the portal to the step and repeat, and then they worked their way. And then we had this big, huge lit nucleus that was the bar, so that they could rotate around the room and they could experience each avatar in her built environments, as the projections and mapping of our commercials. And our guest star was Star Andrews, who agreed to come. She's the national figure skating champion that we've been following since day one, and she was the premise for the champ, or at least one of the premises for the champ. And she agreed to come in as our special guest and speak to us. And we had her figure skating to a special song. It was just beautiful. So we did not want our guests, who were mostly editors, media, and content creators, to not be bored. That they had so much opportunity. They had 3D photo booths. Obviously, we fed them, and they, eat, drink, and be merry situation. But so much so that, and to be in the presence of a young woman, Star Andrews, figure skating champion, who's on Team USA to go to the 2026 Olympics. And they also had opportunity. We had 4 makeup artists in the balcony putting on makeup for anybody who wanted to try to get the avatar looks, or whatever they wanted. So, as people said, this party could have gone on all day. It was like a 3-4 hour event, but we wanted to make sure too that the content creators had plenty of content in each space. They have a post, they're engaging with not only that, we had actors and models dressed up as the avatars. So they could put the avatar in the space, they're taking pictures with the hired actors and that were dressed up as the avatars. So if you go on our Instagram, Black Radiance Beauty, you will see the avatars interacting with the guests. And actually, it's BR Beyond Radiant is the app Instagram. So we just wanted everybody to have fun and just to see how engaging it was. And people were posting. They were posting live. Star Andrews posted inside and outside. We were like, really? Wow, that was so great that she did that. We were so impressed with her. And she really spoke the story of the champ or the CEO or the innovator, because she's got to come up with new moves. I mean, she personified who the Black Radiance consumer is, and the avatar. So it was just so wonderful that she was able to come, and we were able to witness her, and she spoke to us, and people took pictures with her and talked to her. That she's a real live person that helped to inspire the app. So if they left there with no content or unfed or unengaged, it was not the right place. But when you see the post and you see how people responded to it, it was just like, wow. It was like that baby shower, right? The babies come and everybody's coming and pouring the love on this app and this thing that we were doing. And it was just, and that was the launch. That was just the launch. To do all that, to get to the launch, to now start having people engage with the avatar and to pose. Now it's the app has taken on a new life for the avatars, because now they have their own Instagram page. We post with the avatars what they're doing, where they're at, all that sort of stuff. Any articles that are being written about the avatars, those are going on. So yeah, it's kind of like this girl band that has a page.
I love it. They are reaching like fandom. They are getting like fan groups pretty quickly. I
Yeah.
did notice when kind of researching for our conversation, they are everywhere. They're like your tagged option on
Hmm.
Instagram. It's what I enjoyed the most was the faces of the women posting. Like they're
Hmm.
happy. It's like a game. It's
Yeah.
fun. You can tell that they're like, "Oh my God, this is so cute. This is so fun." Like here, like I'm gonna post this. But it it's a really fun app, guys. I'm gonna link it in the show notes. So
Okay.
please click on that, download it, get in there. Also, run to your nearest location where they have Black Radiance, CVS, Walmart, Target,
Walgreens. Hmm.
Walgreens.
Amazon.
Amazon, yes, yes. So sorry, I'm only thinking of the East Coast. I'm like, what other stores?
Yeah.
um, but Amazon for sure, get it nice and quick. And then I'm going to make sure to link Saritasa. If you're looking for a forward-thinking tech company that is not afraid of a challenge and quite embraces challenges with a smile on their face, and we will make sure that you have access to that link. And then we will link all things Black Radiance. Sherry would love to put your account up again. But my final question for both of you ladies, we'll start with you, Sarah. Sarah, how do you make your life rich?
I think just being open to new opportunities. I think that was something we touched on this whole conversation, but I think it never hurts to get a little bit out of your comfort zone, try something new, maybe feel a little silly for a minute. I'm sure the first time Sherry and the team used the app, they're thinking, I look crazy. I'm holding this phone up. I can see a character here. Everyone around me just sees me holding my phone up. But I think it never hurts to try something new. Um, and like I said, just be open to feel a little uncomfortable for a minute. And I think 11 times out of 10, you feel better at the end. You gave it a try, you learned something, and if you don't like it, you don't have to do it again. But most of the times, I feel like you like it. So I think that's what I try to implement to make my life feel a little richer.
Love that, Sarah. Thank you. And Sherry, how do you make your life rich these days?
Well, the first time you asked me that, I said faith, and of course that will always be. But in the context of this conversation, I think what makes my life rich are the people that I want to say, I don't know, whether they get me or they get it. Because through this journey, the number of people that I have met that I have become a fan of has made my life richer. The Saritasa team, the engineers whose faces I may have seen once or twice, but I don't know who they are, but I'm singing their praises. They have made my life richer. Um, the people who came up with Kendall Labrea's environment. When I walked in, I go, "This is it! Oh my God, who knew?" Right? When you think of all the pieces that have come together, somebody had a different vision for what they wanted to do, and it helped me along the way. That made my life rich. Um, all the content creators who said yes to the invitation, who are like, this is so exciting. Everybody that got it, from the event planner, a woman named Jamila Jackson, she got it, and we hired her like a month or so after the app was done. We were like, because we kept pushing the date a little bit because there was things that we still needed to do. When people say I can do it, because I'm a I can do it kind of person, I try not to let things deter me. And when you meet up with a person that has that same thing, you just go, oh my God, I love this person, right? You just go, it's the people that said, no, we're going to do it, we're going to bail out on this. You just go, oh, wow, they didn't even give it a chance. You get flattened. But when you get those people who just boom, 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 boom. I mean, once we got Sarah Tossa, it was wonderful. And I think everybody along the way, from start to finish, to the people who made the food at the event, or if I said, can we get the middle of the room, like we were brainstorming, we couldn't figure. I said, oh, a nucleus, because I have a little bit of a science background. They're like, yes. We're like, can we make that bar light? And I'm online going, let me see if I can find a bar. It cost us but we hauled that in. You know, it's like if not being deterred or not, like getting over hurdles and to be able to say, we did the impossible, or where somebody might have said no, we said, well, we're not going to take no yet. We're not going to, no is not going to be our first stop. We're going to get by the no and like, okay, this is what it's going to take and this is going to cost. Those people who said yes made my life rich. They made this app happen, and one person again cannot do this, and you need to be able to recognize and thank people who said yes, I get it, or I want to get on board. How can I help? And every one of those people, everyone along the way said yes, how can I help? What can I do? What do you need? And turned it around. Turned it around for us, and we have a great product. We had a beautiful launch. My social media guy, I'm like, can you do this? Boom. Michael Diaz, hat goes off to him. Like, he just takes my social visions and he runs with it, and he does great things. My assistant, Karima, she's like, what do you need? I got you. Ride or die kind of person. These are the people that make your life rich, that when an opportunity comes up, like you said, you said, hey, anybody needs tech, call Saritasa. That's the first thing I'm going to say. Saritasa, Michelle, she got it. She really, really, Michelle Rice really got it. And it was like, when I hung up the phone, I was like, okay, we can keep moving. Those people, it's people that make your life rich, not possessions and things like that. It's the people who get it and can do it.
Sherry, that's so beautiful. And it absolutely is a true testament to how you've been living your life for the last year. And it's no wonder that you're so happy at work and you love what you're doing, because you're right. It really, everyone knows what that feels like when everything's just in sync and you're smiling, working next to the people that are on this project with you, and you all know there's a greater mission ahead, and you're just letting your talents just do the dancing, and it always just creates such beautiful outcomes. And I can absolutely see with the app and just everything you guys have been doing for the last few weeks, it's completely a symphony of just souls all working together to like do their best and just do what they love to do. And it's just, I'm so happy that that's what came together for you and for Black Radiance. And I love this partnership with Saritasa and Sarah, Sherry. And I'm just so thankful to have gotten the behind the scenes of everything. And thank you so much, Sarah, for explaining the tech side of things. And Sherry, as always, it is such a
I got one more
pleasure
thing.
to. Oh, go ahead, go
So, in terms of partnership, you're going to want to circle back with me towards the end of the year. We got something real special coming out, and it
ahead.
is
Okay.
pretty huge. It's not on the tech side, but it's on the beauty side. But we have a really amazing partnership that's launching 2025, and it's going to blow up. So, I'll give you the exclusive, Sarah.
Sherry, I love you for it. I can't wait. You guys, oh, you guys get more done in a year than most companies do in a lifetime. Black Radiance, I bow to you because, man, you and Paris are really, I know it takes a huge army of people, but obsessed. Couldn't be more obsessed.
Thank
Ladies, thank
you.
you so
It's been a
much.
pleasure as usual. Thank you guys. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Enjoy the
thank you
weather
guys
Sarah.
for
in
having me.
Florida.
Thank you.
Talk soon, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.